Guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. Today I'm sitting down to film a new Q&A for you guys. I asked for questions over on my Instagram about anything you wanted to know. Personal questions, faith questions, business questions, YouTube questions, homeschooling questions, and I got some really good ones from you guys as always. So I'm going to just be chatting with you guys, sharing my answers to the questions that were sent in over on Instagram. And I want to thank today's video sponsor, which is Ebby. So you guys know how much I love my Ebby bras and underwear, and that was actually one of the questions in this Q&A. So gonna hear a little bit more about Ebby and a color that you guys should run, not walk, to get your hands on, because it is seriously the most beautiful color for summer against tan skin. Perfection, my favorite. But we're gonna have some fun hanging out, answering questions. You guys know I always give my authentic, unpolished, off-the-cuff answer. I do not edit my Q&As, and so I hope you guys enjoy listening to me answer some questions about some things that you all have been wondering. So I did ask a few days ago, but I do have a number of questions, way more than I can answer, so we are just gonna jump in. Stores for online to shop for modesty clothing. I don't really have any stores, let's say, for clothing that is more modest. I think you can find something anywhere you go. You just have to maybe sift through some things. I honestly shop everywhere. I just choose, things that I feel good in, or to help my daughters and my sons choose things that they feel good in. So we shop at all the regular stores I feel like everybody shops at. So there's no real specific place for us. It's just a matter of looking through things and deciding what works and what doesn't. And sometimes it can be frustrating, but my teenagers like to shop at all the stores that everybody else's teenagers do that I hear from. And so we just pick and choose. So not necessarily a store. The next one is a funny one. When is your everything chicken meal plan and prep video coming out? That's an inside joke from over on Instagram. And if you were over there, then you know. If you don't, then that will make no sense to you. The next question, what is a reasonable amount to budget monthly for homeschooling? One high school and one middle school. Well, I don't know what you mean budget for. If you mean budget for your end of the year curriculum, or do you mean budget for like extracurricular activities? I'm not really sure what you're meaning that you would like to budget for. I think that if you look at how much the total is and then divide it equally over 12 months, that's probably the easiest way to budget, and make sure you consider things like school supplies and field trip admissions and things like that. Like, give yourself a budget for that and then kind of divide it up over 12 months. That would be my best recommendation. I really can't give you a dollar amount because cost varies extremely based upon what curriculums you use, where you live, etc. What is your favorite version of the Bible is the next question. I personally like to read the NASB or the King James Version, so the New American Standard Bible or the King James Version. What scale do I use or recommend for my sourdough starter? I just have a basic digital scale from Amazon that I can change, from grams to ounces, etc. Very, very basic. I think it was around 10 bucks and it's worked perfectly. So I'll link the one I have down below if you're interested. The next question, what is my process for creating my homeschool yearbooks? So I share these every year. They are just books from the company Chat Books. And my process is this. As I approach the end of the school year, I go through my phone camera roll and I take the pictures that have to do with homeschooling and I put them into our homeschool yearbook. It's very simple. It does take a few hours because I take a lot of pictures in life, but also because of my job. And so, you know, there's a lot to sift through, but I'll only put homeschooling specific photos in the homeschool yearbook. And then I order it. And then, you know, you want to give yourself about a month's time, just because it does take time for it to ship, etc. So that's my process. The next one is also another funny one. I love that you guys ask me funny questions because I love to laugh, and the fact that all of you like get my sense of humor is awesome. So this one says, do you think anyone in Tennessee is still thinking about your overdressed outfit? And I am confident that some people there were absolutely horrified by us. So yes, I do think. I think if Lazarus at Paula Dean's in Nashville was asked, do you remember those two girls who came in sparkly sequin outfits dressed to the nine, didn't eat a bite of dinner because it was so disgusting? Do you remember them? He would say yes. The next question, summer or winter? Oh, that is so hard to choose. I don't love the hot weather where I live, but I love everything that summer brings and all of our RV travel, which has turned a new leaf over for summer for me. Before this, I would have definitely said winter, but I love our RV and I love exploring, and so summer has taken on a new place in my heart since we started doing that. But I do think that I still like winter better just because it gets so hot, and I don't love the heat. So that is it. The next one, blue or black pen ink, or am I a pencil gal? I'm definitely a pen girl, and I will say black, and I will also say either a felt tip pen or an erasable pen. Those are my go-to pens. We have another chicken joke here. How many times did you watch chicken this week? Actually, I made chicken last night. Another one, which is more of a compliment, but it's so sweet. She says, you should be a motivational coach. When I'm in a slump, I watch your videos. Thank you. I am so glad that I can help. This one is a sweet question. I'm finding out gender of number 4 today. Would I like to take a guess? She has 1 boy and 2 girls. I'm going to go with a boy for you, and tell me down in the comments if I'm right so that you can have an even number like me. I am so thankful for my even boy and girl split in my 4. And the next question, which leads me into today's video sponsor, is what is that underwear company you always talk about? So that is Ebby, you guys, and I've been working with Ebby for years now because I truly, truly love their bras and underwear that they have. They have so many different styles to choose from high cut to thongs, to bikini, to any kind of cut that you want. They also have really great sizing options. They have the thin strap bralettes, they have thicker strap bralettes. They recently launched the Only bra, which literally sold out in like days, what they expected to be like months of stock. I'm actually wearing my Only bra right now in the color Bourbon. It is the most comfortable bra, and it just looks amazing on my body, which I am so thankful for after breastfeeding 4 kids and getting older and losing weight and, you know, all that. There's a lot that my body has been through, and so I just feel so confident in my Ebby. I actually just placed a new order with them for more of their high cut panties that are also seamless. Everything is truly seamless. It does not show in your clothes. Now, I love their high cut briefs for wearing under dresses and skirts because it smooths everything out. I've had 4 C-sections, and so sometimes if I wear a really tight fitting dress, you can kind of see where my C-section scar is, even though I'm super fit and work out, and it's something that I don't really love, but I'm also not going to make myself uncomfortable and get into some, you know, really tight shapewear. So I love their high cut panties. Briefs for that. I love wearing them with dresses. I love wearing them with skirts. I love the seamless, smooth finish that it gives, and it just, everything feels very supported without being uncomfortable. All of their products feature their no slip grip technology, which means that nothing is shifting and moving as you go throughout your day, which is so important because underwear that are moving, riding up, folding in, getting, you know, it's just miserably uncomfortable. And the same goes for their bras. Previously, if I wore a bra all day, I would have like basically a rash right here, and just from things shifting and me moving, and I do not have that problem at all with Ebby. They have changed the game for me. I always have a discount code for you guys. It is graceandgrit 15. That will get you 15% off site-wide, but I did want to give just a little highlight to this beautiful light blue set. This is in the color, I want to make sure that I say the color name right. This is in the color Skyway, and this color actually sold out before I could share it with you before when it came out, because it's so popular. It looks beautiful on a tan summer skin, and I have been wearing this bralette non-stop, as well as the high-waisted thong that I got to go with it. That is just my preferred underwear preference, but this color is Skyway, and it is seriously so beautiful. So if you guys want to check out Ebby, I will have the link down below. That is the company that I am always talking about with you guys, because since discovering them, I will not shop anywhere else when it comes to intimates. They are my absolute favorite, and such a great mission that they're on as well, that I'm really grateful to be a part of. So I'll have my link and my discount code to Ebby down below for you guys if you want to get this beautiful Skyway color before it sells out again, because it will, or anything else you've heard me mention in the past, the Only bra. It's amazing. And some of you actually asked me about for my teenagers. Yes, I got her an Only bra too, and she loves it. So can't recommend them enough. Their information will be down below, and that is the company. It's Ebby. Next question is, how do I find time to pray as a busy homeschooling mom? I don't find time, I make time, because if I look for time, I will never find it. So just prayer should really just be conversations with God throughout the day. So, you know, I just try to be in constant conversation with the Lord. If you could go back, would I have started BJU and not grass earlier? No. I am very happy with when I discovered those things and when I brought them in, and they meet the needs of where my kids have been at that point. But no, I wouldn't have started any of that earlier. The next one's a fun one. Have I started Christmas shopping yet? I actually usually always start in July, but I have only bought one thing. So I have technically started, but I am nowhere near where I usually am, and that is really weird for me. So you're getting me thinking I'm gonna have to start paying attention to things my kids are asking for. Do I go to any local homeschool conferences or find them helpful? I have never attended a homeschooling conference that I wasn't speaking at. There's really not a ton in my area, so I would have to travel. And honestly, I think once you're a veteran homeschooling mom, the homeschool conference thing is definitely, you know, geared more toward people who are just starting and gathering information, and all of that can be really helpful, but I've just never felt the need to go. I think that you know, going more to like a retreat or something like that, where spiritually you're getting fed, and you know, I would love to see maybe a conference geared more toward moms who have been homeschooling a long time, less on the how to deal with what your family thinks talks and stuff, because I just am not there anymore. And so I don't really find them to be something that I want to do, but I do know that they are helpful for some, and some people just enjoy going, which, you know, if I had access, would I go and check it out? Maybe, but I've never been, unless I've been working. The next one is, what is my favorite part of the day? That's hard to say. My favorite part of the day is probably the morning, just because every day is a new day, and no matter what happened the day before, or how tired I was when my head hit that pillow, every morning I wake up renewed and sustained and ready to do whatever I need to do the next day. And so I enjoy the morning hours, I would say. But I also really love like finally crawling into bed, but honestly I fall asleep so fast most nights because I'm so exhausted that I don't really get to take it in. The next one here is YouTube worth it? If you had a chance to start over, would I do anything differently? Is YouTube worth it? For me, I will say absolutely yes, and not because of a monetary sense, but I have been able to help hundreds of thousands of people in some way, many of which I will never even know, you know, that maybe an idea I said helped them, or maybe something I said challenged them and caused them to look into something further. Some people message me and tell me these things, but I just know based on what God has done with me sharing this journey publicly, and the few people that I've met who have told me that I've made a very lasting impact on them, that is just like, I am so humbled by that. And so I could never say that it wasn't worth it, because those people's lives or families are bettered because they came here and they got inspired or they got encouraged, and then those children's lives are impacted. And so no matter what negativity I face occasionally from being out there and being, you know, standing strong in my convictions and beliefs, I can never say it wasn't worth it, because honestly, if you help one person or reach one person, that is worth it. Has there been negatives that have come with YouTube? Absolutely, but I would never discount the amazing things that God has done with it. So yeah. If I had to start over, would I do anything differently? Well, when I started, it was very different than it is today. So it's hard to say, because like what I would have done back then is really based upon what it has become now. The only thing that I can really think of is that I would have done, I would have bought a camera sooner. Because I wish I would have known that I was gonna, like, it was gonna become a thing, but I didn't. So, I mean, I think I should have got a camera a little bit sooner. And then I probably would have just left my kids completely out of the equation in the way that I share them now. So, like, they're in the background, a quick little clip or something, and they were never the focus of the content, but I definitely was less cautious. And so that is probably the only thing that I would do differently. But again, that's because of what it has become today, and so it's kind of hard to say. How many hours a day do I work on my business and expect my kids to stay busy? Well, this varies depending on, like, it's summer right now, so they're downstairs doing chores while I'm filming a video, which is perfectly fine for me. But on our homeschooling days, I do not expect them to stay busy while I work. I will work a little bit in the morning hours, and then I'll work a little bit in the evening hours. If I have to film something during the school week, which I do, I always carve out 1 day per week during the school year. That is like my work day. It will be in the afternoon after we have completed our homeschooling day and my kids want free time. So they're never needing me and I'm unavailable, basically, is what I'm telling you. It's always like, okay, you guys are done with school for the day. I'm gonna go upstairs and film a couple of videos, and you guys can have your free time. And they are very happy about that. So that is kind of how I do things. Now, that's not to say I never ask them to occupy themselves while I film something if something comes up last minute or something like that, because I definitely have, but it's just not a regular thing. So I try to keep that in its rightful place, and I try to honor those boundaries. It gets hard sometimes, and sometimes I have to be flexible, but that's kind of like what I strive for. What book of the Bible am I studying right now? Colossians. And the next one here is, would you rather never travel again or never work out again? I'm gonna have to go with never travel again. If I didn't work out, I can't imagine how I would feel mentally. It would be absolutely horrible for me. The next one is also funny. What food grosses you out the absolute most? Anything seafood. Hot dogs are pretty disgusting to me. Seafood is really, really disgusting to me. Ground beef in like those tubes is also like gag worthy. Like I'm gagging a little thinking about that. Cottage cheese is disgusting. The texture, it looks horrible. It looks absolutely terrifying. Those are like the things that are coming to mind right away. Am I going to check out South Carolina for a move? Yes, we will make our way out to South Carolina. There was a lot that I really liked about that state. But of course, you know, we have to see it as a family, you know, look at different things. But I did like the state of South Carolina when I visited. The next one here is, what radio station do we listen to mostly in the car? We listen to Christian worship music mostly in the car, rotated heavily with country. Those are like the go-tos in our house. Was there any jealousy when my oldest got a cell phone and my younger three didn't? A little bit. And then, you know, then my son was next in line and there was a need for him, so we got him one as well. And then my youngest two kids now have a phone that they share, like if they go somewhere and we're dropping them off. So now, you know, nobody's mad at anyone, but the younger two still share. How would I describe my decor style? I would say it is modern, farmhouse, neutral. I would say not minimal, but like simplistic, I guess. Those are the words that are coming to mind. The next one here is it bad to do pre-algebra in 8th grade? Seems like most do it in 7th. Well, I say do pre-algebra when your child is ready for it and don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Math is one of those things that there's all different kinds of ability levels and varying interest levels, and every child is different. So no, it is not bad to do what is best for your kid. How am I liking my plum paper planner? Can we get a review on it? Well, by the time you guys see this or right after this, I am putting up a flip through with my first impression when I open it, or I already put it up. So time will tell. I haven't started using it yet because it'll start in January. So we'll see what I think of it once I really get going, but look out for that video if you're interested. How did I grow my followers and audience on this platform? This is a great question. I did nothing. I did nothing except be me and show up consistently, I'll say. Those are the two things that I did. I do not do like tons of giveaways. I do not do like follow for follow. I don't do loops. I don't even know how people do this, but I know people do buy subscribers. Like, it's just weird. But then they don't watch their channel because they're robot accounts, and so then your views aren't reflective. So it's just a big mess. So the only things that I have done to grow my platforms, which they're not even big at all. So, you know, if that was my main goal, I would do things. I would like make viral video titles. I would bash curriculum companies. Those things always get a ton of views and a ton of traction. But I'll just say I've showed up consistently, and I have always been authentic to who I am. And I just leave the rest in God's hands, and I believe that He'll bring and remove people as they need to be a part of my space and as they don't. Chevy Suburban, yay or nay? I've heard good and bad on the new ones. Yay. We love our Suburban. I will say though, like, the smarter the car gets with more computer components, the more like there are some kinks and things that have happened, which never ever happened with our previous Suburban, which was just like it was an upgraded model, but it was like a key ignition, you know, now everything is touchscreen and remote start and all of that. And I'm just like, I like older versions of cars, because those computer things, if your key fob malfunctions, and it will because it's a computer chip, you're not going to be able to get in your car. And so, yeah, we love our Suburbans, but there are some things about it that I'm just like, okay, this, I wish they would go old-fashioned on this. The next one here, I'm going to wrap up with a couple more questions. I knew I wouldn't get through them all. Tevas or Chacos. So these are like adventure outdoor sandals. I'm a Tevas girl. I love my Tevas. I want the platform ones, even though those are not conducive to hiking at all. I just think they're super cute. So I really want to get those. This question is hilarious. Would I rather spend a week with Joe Biden or shave all of my hair, including my eyebrows? I'm going to be walking around bald. So there's my answer on that. The last question that I will end with is more info about retirement plans. I'm inspired because you seem young to retire in 10 years. Goals. Okay, so this question is always kind of tricky for me to answer because there are aspects of my life that I do not share publicly with the world. So I think a lot of people who watch my content and they've heard Jake and I mention that, they're not familiar with what retirement options are available for people who are in public service positions. Or like even military. A lot of military professionals will do 20 years of military service, retire, and they have income coming in, and then also get a different position in a different field or work part-time depending on how much their military benefits are, etc. So when we say retire, which Jake, my husband, could retire in, I mean, he could retire now and that we would have income coming in the future once certain criterias were met. But that's just the benefit of doing a public service career. The retirement, especially in certain areas of the country, is probably the number one benefit of the job. Now, before you get really carried away with thinking like, wow, that's amazing, and it is, the reason why the retirement benefits are the way they are is because statistically speaking, this is an alarming statistic, about 50% of retirees who come out of law enforcement backgrounds will die within 10 years of retirement. And so it's kind of like scary, right? So, you know, they work their whole lives doing a job that nobody would want to do and risking their lives and dealing with the worst people of society, and then they get to retire and then they only live for about 10 years. And that is a terrifying thought. So that is how we are able to retire. And I say we because Jake and I have built everything that we have together. We were married before he started his career. So once you reach 20 years, depending on when you were hired and what contract you have a full retirement benefit. Now there's age qualifications and things that you have to factor into that, but there's different circumstances that it's allowable for, and that's the part that I'm not going to go super in depth into. So that's how we'll be able to retire. At best case, in 3 years and from now, he will be retired and look into something else potentially to kind of hold over on some time frames. At worst, it would be 8 years from now to be completely fully retired, and he would never have to work another day in his life. But that's just the benefit of having a career in law enforcement and choosing to work where he did. So I hope that answers your question. If you are wondering like what we've been doing to work towards retiring early, we've just made as good of financial decisions as we can, being, you know, a family that still has 4 kids. And before I was making money doing my job, we were a sole 1 income family. So it was a lot more difficult, but we have always been saving and working toward retirement. We're mindful about exceeding like a certain percentage of our income going out, so we've been able to save money. We choose to stay in a smaller home even though we could definitely afford a much larger home, just because of future goals that we have with the equity. So we've just tried to make like wise decisions when it comes to that, but really basic stuff. Like, we're not investors, we're not stock market people, we don't have high risk accounts or anything like that, or some huge financial portfolio. We just do like the basic things. And so yeah, that is how. So I hope that helps you understand. I know it's kind of hard when I can't say everything, but I hope that that makes sense. So retirement for public servants is going to look vastly different than someone who has to save in a 401k for the rest of their lives. Like, that's not the same. That's like comparing apples to oranges. So retirement is monthly income being provided whether or not we saved a dime or a dollar. So I hope that helps. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for listening to this Q&A. I am sorry I couldn't get to everyone's questions. I'm going to try to keep doing these more often, because anytime I do, there's always so many great questions that you guys want to know. And thank you for the fun questions. I love answering kind of funny questions like, you know, the ones in there. I'm super grateful for you guys. Make sure you check out the links to Ebby down below if you are looking for any summer bra panty refreshes. If you have a dress that you want to look really nice and seamless with no bulges, nothing sticking out on the back, nothing folding over the underwear, you need to check out their bras and underwear. The links will be down below, and you can save 15% off with my code. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you again really soon. Bye.